Hello and good everyone, and welcome back to your YouTube channel, and welcome to another exciting edition of my FPL video game week 9. But first of all, we'll talk about the game week 8. So in game week 8, I had a total point of 40 points, and that week actually was a very bad one because the average point was 36 points. Everyone actually had a very bad result. Saliba had a red card, had -3 points, and because of that, people who had him and also Captain Haaland, which blanked, that actually made the game week very bad. And you can see the highest points. It has always been above 100, and this time it was 98. That shows how bad that game week was for everyone. So let's see how my team went. I had 40 points, and let's see how we did. We have Flecken. We actually have 4 points. These points came from bonus because he actually, if you look at this game, he conceded against Manchester United, and he actually had bonuses because he actually had some good saves in that game. Yeah, it came from saves, not bonus. Sorry. In the defense, we have Luis, which actually Man City actually conceded, so he blanked, so he had 2 points. Arnold also played against Chelsea, and Chelsea scored a goal in that game. Jackson scored that goal. Because of that, Alexander Arnold had 2 points. Gabriel actually had 1 point. Arsenal had a rough game in this game. We're beating Bournemouth 2-0, and because of that game, not Arsenal blanked generally. Also, Gabriel blanked, and because he conceded more than 1 goal, he had just 1 point. Madueke had 2 points, blanked. Mbemo had 2 points, blanked. Then if you remember this Son, I was talking about in my last video that I would likely bring him in towards the deadline. That happened. So I sold Saka for Son, and he delivered instantly. He gave me a goal, and he gave me also a bonus point. So that's 8 points from him. MC New, we talked about this. I talked about him that he's going to do well for Everton. Everton has been doing well lately, and MC New has been the pivot point of this, of him doing well, and he didn't disappoint. He actually had 6 points, had an assist to his name, had a clean sheet. That in him, that's 6 points. And lastly, we had Wood, which Wood scored that goal. A wonderful game, 1-0. I was accurate in my prediction here. 1-0, Wood scored that goal and had 7 points, and he just had 1 bonus. It's crazy. He scored the only goal in the game. Nottingham Forest, which I always call the legend killers, against Crystal Palace. 1-0. He scored the only goal in the game, but funny enough, he just had 1 bonus. He's not very fortunate with his bonus, and that's why you see he had just 7 points. Haaland blanked again for another game in a row. Haaland now has been blanking. If you can see, Haaland has blanked for the last 3 games in a row. We're going to talk about this much more when I'm going to talk about my team selection for this week, game week 9. Haaland blanked again, and it was a captain. It was an obvious captain. It was my captain, and I guess was also the captain on half of the managers of the FPL. Yeah, Solanke actually blanked. This is just crazy because Tottenham actually scored 4 goals in this game. He's a striker, the only striker playing in this game apart from Son, which actually support him, and he blanked with 4 goals in Tottenham name. It's crazy. Had just 2 points, he blanked also. And in the bench, we have Slicker, who did not play. We have Dalot, had 1 point. Manchester United considered in this game. Of course, nobody was surprised Onana was going to concede in that game, though he's been the highest. He's been the keeper with the highest clean sheet so far, but not the team with the highest clean sheet. Then Semenyo actually had 2 points, and then Colwell had just 1 point. He played against Liverpool, and Liverpool bagged in 2 goals, and that game ended 2-1. So before I go into my pick for the week, then I'll just talk briefly about the player stats. So I'll just talk about the first 5. I think the first 5 will really help us. This player stats actually help us in picking the best 11 for our FPL. So when I'm going to be talking about the player stats, it's going to help us to make a prediction of what or which player is going to come into our team and actually make an impact. So Haaland has been undisputed in the attack, had 10 goals to his name. Second by Mbemo, which has been consistent lately for Brentford. Like I said, anytime Brentford scores 2 goals, Mbemo is directly involved in it, and actually sometimes he has the goals himself. And Cole Palmer, which actually scored 4 goals in a game, is also ranked at second. Then Luis Diaz is not so consistent because he's not a starter, but anytime he starts for Liverpool, he delivers. Then Nicholas Jackson was very surprising against Liverpool. He scored a goal in that game. He's not consistent, so he's also part of that list. For the assists, Saka, which is currently injured, is number 1 in the assist. Cole Palmer is number 2. Salah is 3. Then Wilfred and Mikel. Then for the clean sheet, like I said initially, Onana actually had 4 clean sheets to his name and is number 1 in the clean sheet ranking. Second by Alisson, then third by Rhea, then Sales, and lastly Pickford. So let's go with what I've picked for this game week 9 for my FPL. So nothing really has changed so far. So Flicken, of course, is going to be playing against an Ipswich side. And if you look at this Ipswich side, Ipswich has not been scoring too many goals, and they are one of the worst teams in England right now. So I think it's no brainer to have him actually in the goal. Then we have Luis. The thing about Luis is that he's a gamble because sometimes when Pep Guardiola rotates his team, Luis may be benched, Luis may start, so it's a gamble. But it's good we have a good bench just in case he doesn't play because of the Champions League football. In case he doesn't play, so we have someone who's going to go in and replace him. So we have Arnold. Of course, we expect goal coming from Arsenal side, but of course they didn't score against Bournemouth. That doesn't mean Arsenal can't score against Liverpool. But having Alexander-Arnold, even though Liverpool concedes, he can still score. That's the most important thing. He can still score in this game. So we have him there, not removed. Gabriel make the list because again he can reciprocate what Alexander-Arnold will do. If Alexander-Arnold can score in this game, Gabriel can also score in that game. It can be a defender's goal fist. So that's also very possible. So having him, as you can see, he has a star on him. He is in a dream team, so it's no brainer having him as a selection. So in the midfield, nothing has really changed. Madueke is still there. Because of the budget, could not get Cole Palmer in this game, and of course, it's against Newcastle. Newcastle is a very, very inconsistent team. They can win today and win a very big team today and lose to a very small team next day. They can lose against a very big team and win against a very small team. They are the most inconsistent side in the English Premier League right now. So having Madueke in there is a no-brainer. It was in the bench in the game yesterday for Chelsea. Was in the bench. So having him, I believe, is going to start this game, and it's a no-brainer to have him in there right now. Consider the fact that I cannot afford Cole Palmer, and it's good we have a Chelsea mix. Consider the fact that Chelsea is actually doing well right now this season. Then Mbemo is playing Ipswich, which is one of the worst teams in England right now. It's a no-brainer. He has actually been doing well. If you look at his stats, you see that apart from the game against Manchester United, he delivered against Wolves 8 points. He delivered against West Ham 9 points. He delivered against Tottenham 8 points. Okay, blanked against Man City. He delivered against Southampton, which is one of the worst teams right now in England, 14 points. And he also delivered against Crystal Palace in the first game, the opening game in the Premier League, 9 points. So having him in this game is also a potential captain for those who is really scared about Haaland delivering, because Haaland has blanked in 3 games in a row, as you can see, and he was pretty lucky in the Champions League. He was almost blanking and he just had a brace just 15 minutes to the end of the game. So he was really, really lucky in that particular game. And if you are scared of Captain Haaland this week, Mbemo is a very, very good choice and a good differential for those who actually believes in differential a lot. Then Son, we had the news about Son. Son is a very, very good pick. We had the news about Son that is actually injured, and you can see from his manager Postecoglou, it confirms that Captain Son is unlikely to be available for the weekend to travel to Selhurst Park for Crystal Palace versus Tottenham Hotspur. So it's actually down. It doesn't feel so right now. So let's go back here. Yeah. So if you look at what the FPL is talking about him, he has a muscle injury. I think he picked up in the last game, and it has just 25% chance of playing. He was rested in the European competition over the weekend, and because of that, the manager is still not sure. And because he has announced this, that is why it's being flagged right now. So he has 25% chance of playing. I'm thinking about selling him, but we'll see if more news come out and if there's a leak. Because today is actually the game week. It starts in just about 3 hours from now, and it's possible that news will come out before then. So that depends on my decision what I'm actually going to do in this particular with Son. If there's a leak that he traveled with the team, because the manager says he's not going to travel with the team. All right. Sometimes the manager can be playing mind games just to trick their opponents. So we watch very closely. If he's going to be traveling with the team, we'll see him on videos. We'll see a lot of Twitter members are actually going to tweet it, or some of those news broadcasters will talk about it. We'll see it, and if he travel with the team, which means he's likely going to play, so we leave him there. Saka, I think last season or 2 seasons ago, this was a similar situation. He was 25% not going to play, and the media says he's not going to play. But guess what? He played and had a brace in that game. So that could happen here also. So that's why we'll leave it to the end of the deadline for game week 9 to see if we're going to sub him. And they have some various options. If we are going to sub him, this is what's going to happen. Let's assume he's out. Saka is also injured, which is very, very good. We just have 10.1 million in the bank. Bringing in Palmer, having two Chelsea players against a Newcastle side doesn't really feel so right. But that's also an option. We can bring in. Oh yeah. If you look at it, the budget is not even going to support Palmer. It's going to have to move to actually do that. Luis Diaz is not an option because he may start, he may not start. Saka is a good option, but he's injured right now, considering the fact that he has been consistent, not because of the fixtures, but he has just been consistent. You see, he's been delivering 12 points, first game, 6 points against Aston Villa, 6 points against Brighton, 7 points against Tottenham Hotspur, Man City, and Leicester. He blanked, but he had 4 points and 3 points. But I think because of the clean sheet against Leicester, Southampton had 16 points, and he was completely out against Bournemouth. So it's somebody who we can pick for a one game week punt. But because of that, he's injured, that is completely ruled out. So my option and my choices, which I could make, is one, Johnson. Johnson is a very good replacement for Son. If you remember that since when Son has been injured, Johnson has been doing fantastically well. And if we bring him in, we are going to have 3.4 million in the bank. And apart from that, since Son has been injured, if you look at, apart from the last game he had against West Ham, because Son was in there, you see against Brighton he had 7 points, against Manchester United he had 11 points, against Brentford he had 7 points. You see these 3 games, they are quite difficult for a team like Spurs. And considering his form right now, he picked up that form, and considering his form right now, he can be a 1 week punt. Seeing that if you don't want to risk Son and seeing that he's out, and let's assume that the news confirm him out, so he's a very, very good punt. He could come deliver against a very, very poor Crystal Palace side who has actually not been doing well. Another thing I'm thinking about is bringing in a Foden. Why am I talking about Foden? Because if you look at De Bruyne now, look at De Bruyne is injured. I think he has a groin injury. Yeah, he has a groin injury. So he's out. So it gives a lot of chance for Foden to play. Considering Rodri is out for the rest of the season, De Bruyne is out, Foden has a good chance to play. He actually played, let's see, okay. Let's take Johnson out, bring in Foden. And this also is 9.2 million. So we have just 0.9 million in the bank. It's also a very good pick, considering the fact that Man City is playing against the worst defensive side in England, Southampton. Personally, I'm predicting that this game is going to end 5-0 in my Premier League prediction video. It's going to end 5-0. Considering the fact that, let's assume Manchester City scores 5-0, Foden will be involved in 2-3 goals. All right. Haaland, we're expecting to kill that game. considering the fact that he has blanked now for his last 3 games. So this is also another punt. So I'm going to leave it there for now, leaving Restore Son. Look at the news just 1 week to the ahead of the deadline to see if there's any news. If Son did not travel, then I'm going to make one of those moves. So apart from that, I'm going to leave that there. Then for my attack, Wood is going to be in. He's playing against a Leicester side which is newly promoted. Leicester is a very stubborn team, very good in attack, but they are not good in defense. So Wood has been punishing so many teams. Wood has been having a very, very funny form. Like I've said, in the first game he delivered, second game he blanked, third game he delivered, fourth game he blanked, fifth game he delivered, sixth game he blanked, seventh game he delivered, and the eighth game he delivered. So who knows he's going to deliver against a Leicester side which is newly promoted. Not a very, very great defense, but Wood right now is on form, considering is also his fixtures. Let's see his fixtures. You see he's having good fixtures. He's going to play in Leicester, sorry. Going to play in West Ham next, then Newcastle, difficult. Okay, at least his first 3 games he can deliver, and we know Wood, he scores against teams like Arsenal, teams like Manchester City. So having him in this first level is actually a good one. Haaland is a big one because if you look at Haaland, this is a very, very big one. All right. First of all, see his history. At the beginning of the season, he scored against Chelsea. He had 17 points against Ipswich. A lot of people triple captain him, which I didn't because it's a 1 game. Usually, I use my triple captain when it's double game. It's better so that when you have 90 minutes, if let's assume he blanks in one, he can score hat-trick in one. Let's assume he scored brace in one, he can also score brace in the second one, or scores just 1 goal and score 3 goals, or score 3 goals and score 1 goal. But having a triple captain in just 1 game week is a huge risk. A lot of people captain him according to Premier League's FPL stats. A lot of people captain against Ipswich. He delivered, had 17 points, and because he had a hat-trick in this game and 3 bonus points, earned him 17 points. A lot of people were happy about that. And again, a lot of people were captaining him. Some people triple captained him against West Ham, but not so many. Had 17 points again, had a hat-trick. And he also had good return against Brentford, had good return against Arsenal. But after this Arsenal game, he's been blanking. But the thing is that he has been playing 90 minutes and he has not been given so much rest. So we don't know. We heard that Pep Guardiola is going to rotate his team heavily because he's playing Southampton so that he doesn't risk his players having fatigue or being injured. So let's see if that's going to play out very, very well. And having Haaland as captain will be good. But I'm considering having Haaland as a triple captain in this game. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to leave it there or I'm going to change it. I'm also going to consider that in the deadline. So during the deadline, I think whether I leave it, but I think I'm going to leave it, having Haaland triple captain, because if we don't play it now, when is actually the best time we are going to play it? We have double game week coming up. We also have more chips. We have the bench boost chip. We have the free hit chips, and you have the mystery chips, which nobody know about. So if nothing strange happens like a pandemic, nothing strange happens like maybe cancelled game for any reason, protest or anything in the Premier League, likely we are going to have just 2 double game week. And having 2 double game week is good to use the bench boost, and we don't know what his mystery trip is going to be. Imagine the mystery trip is better than a triple captain, maybe quadruple captain, if possible. That would be better than triple captain. And seeing the fact that Haaland has blanked in 3 games and they're playing against Southampton, I think he'll be pursuing the golden boot for the Premier League. And I think he's going to unleash himself. And that's why I've actually triple captained him. But let's see, he can also blank in this game. But the truth is that if Guardiola starts him and plays him for at least 85 minutes, I'm very sure he's going to score at least a brace in this game, because Southampton is the worst team in England right now. And I'm predicting personally that this game is going to end 5-0. And I believe it's a good thing for Manchester City to score so many goals in this game, considering the fact that they have actually dropped some points. They have lost some points in the Premier League. So for them to be in the title race, they really need to win this game. They really need to win this game. They have dropped some points. They really, really need to win this game. So this is a game for Haaland to actually deliver and show his worth, why he's Haaland. The Solanke also, he has been poor. There's truth that he has been poor, considering the fact that Tottenham has been doing extremely well. He has just had just 3 returns, and those 3 returns he has just scored only one goal in those 2 games. One goal, and the other one was just an assist. So not good. So we keep him in. If he doesn't perform in this game against Crystal Palace, we're thinking of selling him. And in the bench, we have Slicker, which is not ready to come in. We have Dalot. Dalot could come in. Just imagine I don't make any sub. Dalot will come in replacement of Son. And if that happens, we are going to have 3 free transfers because I already have 2 in the bank, including that's going to be 3 free transfer. Then we are going to have Semenyo coming in, but I think I'm going to change this. All right, I think Semenyo coming in is better than Dalot against West Ham, Colwell against. Okay, I'll consider the fact that Chelsea is playing Newcastle at home, so Dalot should go. No, let's see. Dalot can score goals. I think I will leave it like that. So I'll leave it like this. So I'll just change it back. Dalot to Colwell. So that's my team. So I'm going to save it right now. So it just depends on the deadline. If the deadline coming up in 1 hour, if Son is spotted, I leave Son. If Son is not spotted, I'm going to either transfer Son to Foden or Son to Johnson. So I'll leave it there. If you like the video, click on like, make comments, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.